Hey, what's up, guys? Back for another deck profile here. Now, there's been a bunch of people asking me to update Gren Maju. I've actually been meaning to do it myself, so I'm glad somebody mentioned it, because I just really like this deck. John, like Gren Maju, dude?
Best deck.
Best fucking deck, bro. The deck's just fucking ridiculous. So, I have changed it actually quite a bit since my last couple uploads. If you guys want to go back and look at my other Gren Maju lists, those all have 3 desires in it. Sick. When that card went to 1, I was kind of like, what the fuck is this, bro? Like, kind of made me super sad. But they gave us snow. That's fucking good. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But yeah, guys, without further ado, fucking Gren Maju, dude. Trying like the Maju, dude. Best cards.
Best deck.
So, also be sure to leave me questions down below. Like I said, I'll do that Ask Me Anything video where I'll give you a shout out for whoever asked the question and then read the question and answer it. Also, let me know what deck profiles you want to see. I have a bunch of stuff coming up too. DDDs is the main one that I have coming up. The deck's super fucking hard to play with, so it's been taking longer than expected. But here's without further ado, here you go. The old Gren Maju. All right, so I also have a bunch of honorable mentions at the end of this. Just shout out certain cards that you could play in here if you wanted to. So obviously I'm playing triple Gren Maju. I mean this card, you know, just the end all be all. Card's nuts. I have 0 to say about it. That's your game shot. And then to go with it, I'm still playing 2 Golden Homunculus. People will probably click off the video now and be like, he's playing fucking Golden Homunculus. Relax, listen. So you only need 1 normal summon a turn. And playing essentially 5 Gren Majus, because Homunculus is already 1500 attack. It just gains 300 attack for each of your banished cards, but it already starts at 1500. So you can, like, if you open multiple Gren Majus or like a Homunculus and a Maju, you can still just blind all your dangers first and then just worry about keeping one of them. It's not really that big of a deal. Also, you know, if Desires hits multiples, that's fine, even though there's only 1 Desires now for some fucking reason. But Homunculus is insane. I would suggest testing it. So definitely do that. And obviously the dangers give you free tribute fodder for Golden Homunculus, so it's, you know, it's level 6, so it's fine. But then I did playing some hand traps. Obviously D-Shifter, this is probably the most important hand trap in the deck. And this card just destroys like 80% of decks. 3 nibs. This card, the reason I'm playing this too is, like, even if this card, actually I'm going to mention this too. So I'm also playing 3 Phantasme. So even if Phantasme or Nib aren't good against their deck, worst case scenario, they just become another card in hand for a danger. Also, the Phantasme is very important, I feel like, because you always want to go second with this deck. This is a going second list, because you never want to go first with Gren Maju unless you're playing like the trap build, which I might have a profile on that if people want to see that. But it's important for the Phantasme to fix your hand and then still have a monster on board when you're going into turn 2. Also, it's level 7, so it's easy access to the BLS link. BLS link is just very, very good, very important in my opinion. So, then for the dangers, I'm playing 1 Sneck, 1 Such, obviously 3 Nessie. I think the last time I did this profile, Nessie was at 1, so that's just very good. And shout out my boy Johnny. He let me use his Bigfoots. I also cut Thunderbird. I think Thunderbird is kind of worse right now against certain matchups. Like, it just doesn't seem to be as good as it was when I last played it. Like when I was like turbo, like triple trade in, you know, 3 Bigfoot, 3 Gizmek, 3 Thunderbird, 3, you know what I mean? Like, it just, I think Bigfoot's obviously the better card now outside of Thunderbird and that. So there's that. And then this card too. Like an Eater of Millions. I literally have 0 to say about this deck, or about this card. Also, the one thing that I did want to note too is if you're playing Gren Maju and like they make you go first or whatever, I'm actually going to show you something to do going first with this deck, if they make you go first. But if you Nibiru, this will stay on board because it can't be tributed. So this lives through the Nib, which is very important. So. Also, 3 Gizmek. I mean, you always want to see this card. I'm playing 45 cards now. The math is being able to, since Desires went to 1, which is fucking kind of garbage. It's not really that hindering, but it just kind of ensures that you won't draw Desires off of Desires, so it's fine. But Gizmek, you can use Gizmek a lot more in the game at 45 cards. So Also, one thing to note too, how to kill Appaloosa. I know Appaloosa is not like super relevant in the format, but down here, babe. So like if they have Appaloosa, usually, obviously you're going second, you'll activate Gizmek. They'll just negate it, just to negate it, because they don't want another monster on your board. Then you just chain nib, and then it kills everything, because Appaloosa can't negate in chain links. So just something to note with that part of the deck. And then I have, oh yeah, that's right, one alpha, also level 8. You only ever want to see this card once. I mean, that's just kind of, that's the only reason I'm playing one. Also, trading target card's good. Collector's Rare Pankratops. Oh, fuck. Mama, I made it. This card is just very, very good. You know, obviously, since you're going second, you would obviously main it. Fucking snow, dude. This, when I saw the list, the ban list for this format, I was just like, Desires, huh? And then I saw this, because I always start, when I look at a ban list, I start from the bottom to the top instead of the ban to the bottom. And I saw fucking Desires go to 1, and I was just like, oh, cool, dude. And then I saw Fairy Tale Snow, and I was just like, whoa. So, this is very good. I'm actually not playing Curious in this list, but you could play Curious, because all the dangers can make Curious. I went with a more control-y slash, you know, very consistent, like. So, I'm also playing one of each level 8 kaiju. You know, these are just very good right now. Obviously, this is more the important one. I was actually playing 2 of this just for the barrier statue for Flunderies. It didn't really come up that much, so I cut it just to 1. So all the level 8s, and I'm only playing one Slumber. I think one Slumber is completely fine right here. Just to note, this allows you to play the deck in a meta setting comfortably with the amount of hand traps and these. So I think it's been very good. So, and then for the one-ofs, obviously Harpy's Feather Duster, Card Destruction, Foolish Burial, the fucking One Desires makes me sad, and then for the 2-of spells, so, actually, sorry, last one, is 1 Talents. I was just playing 1 Talents, because if you did see Talents, it's like Desires, you just want to see it once. That's kind of how I built this. That's why I'm only playing 1 Slumber, stuff like that, so. And then I'm playing two trade-ins. I was playing 3. I think I'm only playing, let's see, 4, so it's like 9 or 10 level 8s. So trading is just, you know, at 2 is just completely fine. And then the last card is obviously 3 lore. So 3 lore is very standard. This card's just fucking nuts. So, and then for the extra deck, so like I said, once I get through the extra deck, I'm going to show you something to do going first, if you can. If they make you go first. So obviously the 1 dark, this card's insane. It takes DPE from their graveyard as well. I mean, this card just does everything. You can say down here, babe. 1 Phoenix, 1 IP. These are all the Link 2s. Link 3s are the BLS, the Topologic, Trisbana. So with this card for back row decks, you know, like just whatever back row deck, doesn't matter. You can make this, and obviously Gizmek will summon to an arrow to banish all the back row. They take X amount of damage, so it's kind of just a way to win in time or finish out the damage if Gren Maju didn't just immediately kill him. You know what I mean? So, and then the last Link 3 is the Unicorn. So, Collector's Rare Unicorn. Oh, fuck. And then for level rank 4s, Access Code, Boral Sword, the Bomber. This card, like I said again, is like Regeki. You can just bring back Gizmek to an arrow to Regeki. So this card's very good. And then the last card that's very important to note is the Topologic. So the Zero Boros is kind of like your 5th Gren Maju, or I'm sorry, 6th Gren Maju, because you play 3 Gren Maju, 2 Golden Homunculus, and this. So for some reason, Gizmek or the Desires banishes all of those. This is still like your win button, because it gains X amount for each banish card. So it's just, it gets really huge, really fast. So, and then that's it for the links. And then I play 5 Exceed monsters. So. Obviously Zeus is insane. I'm playing the 1 Ding. The Ding Yursu actually does come up a lot. The random send one off of it's very good. Also, there actually was one time I only had 1 Gizmek in play, and I was using it to basically fuel my game state, and they crowed it. And I had a Bigfoot, and I had the Slumber. So like I slumbered them. He got the Gamma Seal. I got the Dogoran. And then I summoned Bigfoot, made Ding attach the Gearsuit to, or attach the fucking Gizmek to the Girsu. So that's just a way to get it back into play. And then the Heradic, this card's come up multiple times. This is just an easy way to wipe monsters out or bait negates, and then killing them. So the Michael Jordan, number 23, this card's very good. Nothing really more to say about this. And then this time I'm actually playing Zombie Stein. So the thing about Zombie Stein that I want to point out too is that they make you go first. This is usually where you want to go. So you're a main. All right, so you can see down here, babe. So obviously you'll have 2 attachments under the fucking Zombie Stein. He can be wherever. Obviously he'll negate during your opponent's turn. He can detach, discard a card, switch himself to defense, and negate a monster effect. But when you discard, you want to discard the Bigfoot. So the Bigfoot will pop a card. So this negates a monster effect. This will pop a card. And then once they really start playing, you can just IP into Unicorn. And then that's a 3rd interruption going first. It's just something niche to note. It only came up, I think, 3 or 4 times. Like, it wasn't like super detrimental, but it was something I wanted to talk about at least. And then for the honorable mentions, the Orcus Nightmare. Orcus Nightmare is kind of like a 4th Gizmek. Obviously, if you have it in hand and you don't need it, you can just banish it for a lure or whatever. But it's a card in graveyard that gets you 2 Gizmek. So like you can like open this and then like danger effect, and then maybe discard this, banish this to send a Gizmek, and then what I mean. You're going second. So the other 2 talents, if you wanted to, I just didn't see fit playing 3. I just didn't think the card was that important. But the 1 of is very good. I'm gonna come back to these last. For the extra deck, you can play the Anima, obviously Eater of Millions. This card's very good for that. If they put Golden Lord in the wrong column, you can just kind of cheese the win that way by taking the Golden Lord. The Puzzle Amino, this card's very good, just 2 monsters with different names. Whatever it's pointing to, you can change its level. So you can change like a fucking, a snake, danger snake to a level 8. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Just noted, it's also a light, so it's another banish for access code. Cerberus, just as an honorable mention. And then these 2, Geonator. If Nibiru is very good against their deck, sometimes you can actually nib them, put the nib in the center column or wherever this will point to, and then you can just summon, like, if you haven't even advanced your game state that much, you can just summon like a Gren Maju that's like 0 to 400 attack, whatever, very small, and then swap it with the nib token, and then kill the Gren Maju with the nib token, and that'll usually be game. Also, the Pentastag, this gives one of your dudes piercing, so this card's just very good. Like, with the snow being in play now to book a Moon card, like, once it's set, you can just Pentastag, Gren Maju, kill it in this game, too. Just to note, the Underworld Goddess, this card never came up, but I wanted to honorable mention it, just in case, because this deck always just slaps X amount of monsters on the board all the time, plus this just outs, like Dragoons or something that's hard for you to out. The other ranks that I would shout out is the Galaxy. This card's only good at going first, attach, negate, a monster effect, doesn't destroy. Going first, the Rock. This is just, almost Dweller. They can't summon from graveyards. And then the Gimmick Puppet, the one that detaches up to 2, destroys up to 2, monsters. If it's an Exceed, it burns them for that much. Also, one thing I did want to point out, too, is like with Nightmare, you will be locked into darks when you do that. So like this is a dark, this is a dark, you know what I mean? Pentastag's a dark, Anima's a dark. Like I think everything I play except for the Seal, Seal and Zeus, Seal, Zeus, BLS, Nightmare are the only non-darks that I play. So if you did want to play Nightmare, I had Nightmare in one of my other profiles. If you guys want to go back and watch those 2, those were very good too, just for some insight. But yeah, guys, also make sure, last things, thanks, babe. This was for if you were side decking with this deck and you knew you were going to go first, like if you went second the first game, and you knew they were going to go first, they were going to make you go first. So you'd play the D-Fissure, the Macro, and then the Banquet of Millions. This card is just very good. This is like one of the cards I would play in the trap Gren Maju list. You banish X amount from your extra, they banish X amount from their extra. Sometimes you'll just whip all 15 out of your extra, and then they'll rip all 15. Theirs come back to their extra, yours don't. So it's an automatic 15 card banish, and it locks them out of the extra deck for that turn, essentially. It's like Scythe. Just a note. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed this profile. Also, leave me questions down below. I'll give you a shout out for whoever asked it, and I'll do that Ask Me Anything video at some point down the line. And let me know also what deck profiles you want to see. Yeah, guys, without further ado, thanks for watching. Cheers.